tips and tutorials to increase your online presence, websites, social media, online donations, applications, databases, and more. This is OrgSpring.
Okay, so in this video, we're going to do something really quick and really cool. We're doing a tutorial inside Nimble, the CRM, the social CRM. It's a cloud offering. And we're going to show you how to set up an event or an activity. And you can do this in one of several ways, so we're going to go through a couple quick ones. If you're logged into your Nimble system and you're on the activity screen, it's very simple. It's just one button right here, New Activity. You click that button, and it's going to give you two choices when you're talking about activities. You either have the task or the event. So right now, task is highlighted. You'll notice that here as well. It shows task, and you're going to enter a subject. So here we'll type in sample task, and then you can add a description like make a phone call. Of course, you need to spell it correctly. And then you have some options here on the right. All these are going to default to later. You can also click on the select box. You can make it default today. You could select tomorrow, a general thing like this week or a general thing like next week, or by clicking specific date and time, you could set, using these choosers, when exactly that task should be completed by. Now, just a quick tip on these. So if you click today, it'll assign just a general day to it, and then it'll remind you inside the system. You'll see here things that need to be done today. It will show up there with a task item, not necessarily with a time next to it. Same thing with tomorrow. It will show up in your tomorrow feed, which you can see here blacked out a little bit. If you picked next week or this week, it will show up, and that's a whole different setting. I'm going to cancel out of this real quick just so you can see where these show up. Things that are due this week with specific dates will show up in order. Without specific dates, they'll just pop in here. Same thing for next week. Same thing for down the road. These are things that happen much later than next week, of course. So again, we'll show here, click on New Activity, Sample Task. So we're going to set this one for, we'll just click later. We're going to assign it to, and this is going to be you by default. If you have another team member that this task needs to be assigned to, you would click this drop box and select that person. If this is related to a specific person, you would start typing in this contact field and it'll fill in automatically. For example, if I want to relate this to this person here, Craig Cachillo, I will put that name right there. It'll be automatically attached to that person. Inside their contact information, it'll show up as a task that you've related to them. If there's a specific deal or a grant that you're working on, you can relate it to this. For example, you might be following up with a grant administrator, and you would put their name or that particular grant that you're following here, and you would relate that person's name there. That way it'll track that activity history inside that contact. And then you can tag it with different tags that you might have within your system. Tagging is a great way to look up specific lists of information to separate out and categorize your information later. So we're going to just cancel out of this one. Let's save this. We'll save that. Now we're going to click New Activity again, and then this time we're going to click Event. And this is going to let us create an event. And you'll notice that the details change slightly. So we're going to call this one Sample Event, and let's call this one Training. And then this does require a specific day. Not necessarily a time, but a specific day. So we're going to set this for today, 6:10 here. And you can either make it an all-day event, in which case it takes away the times, or you could set the specific time. We'll leave it for 2 to 3 o'clock. You can also set it to repeat, and then it'll pull up a schedule for when it repeats. And this works just like any other normal calendar, like a Google Calendar or your iMac or your Outlook calendar. It uses the same type of schedule. You could set it to start on that day, repeat every day or every 7 days or every month. You can also have it end on a specific date, and it'll give you the summary there. So we're actually not going to make it a repeat. We'll make it an all-day event, take away the time. Then we're going to put it on this person's calendar. That's me. Again, if you have another team member, you could put it on their calendar. You could add guests, for example. We'll add the same guest that we had before. Or let's leave the guest spot blank for now. Location, let's put a location in And let's just type in any general address, 500 Fifth Avenue. Okay. Again, if you're relating it to a specific grant or a deal, you could type that there, and then you could put a tag here and separate them with commas if you have multiple tags. You'll click Save, and you'll be done. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look for these general ones. So, for example, today, here's our sample event, and you'll notice events show up with these little calendar icons next to them. The tasks are just, they have no icon next to them, and you'll notice as you hover over these events, you have different options. So for example, an event gives you two options. You can edit the event or you can delete it. A task, however, has different options. You hover over a task, you can hit the check mark and that will complete the task and remove it from your items list. You can star the task to make sure that you note it as an important task and that will track it on your today's homepage. You can also edit it or delete that task. So for example, if I wanted to check this task off here, I would click that, complete, and it removes it from our list. Now, to take a look at the internal event, you'll notice they have a little graphical description here for this event. So let's say you're planning a training event and you wanted to track comments. Let's say that this event was a couple days down the road and you wanted to make some notes. Let's say you're calling the facilitator of that event and they want you to do a training and they call you a week ahead of time and say, hey, are we good to go for this event? You say, yeah, of course, I can't wait to be there. But you ask them maybe some information about what they want you to do. Well, rather than just leaving that somewhere in your system or putting it on a Post-it note on your desk, you can leave a comment right here in the event. For example, Jim, the facilitator, probably don't need to write facilitator, but Jim, the facilitator, wants me to do a presentation on Nimble and why I like it. So you can leave yourself notes there, hit add comment, and that gets added to this. So when you close out this event right here, and then we come back to it a few days later and thinking, hey, what am I supposed to do with this training? Let me double check. You'll also notice now next to the event, there's a 1 with a quote box there showing you that there's one comment on that event. So you can click into this event and your comment is saved. So if you want to leave notes or comments on that event, you can do so directly on the event. That way the information is always there for you to see. So that's how you create an event or a task, and both of these are called activities, from inside the activities panel inside Nimble. On the left side of the panel, you can also see, for example, if we clicked inside this event, on the left side here, you have your upcoming, starred, completed, and delegated. So these are different boxes that will allow you to view your items in different ways. So if we click on completed, it will show you all of your completed tasks, and it'll show you the events that happened in the past. So if you wanted to quick review something that you just completed, you can look in this view. If you have any tasks that were delegated, for example, if you clicked on a person and assigned that task to somebody else, that would show in your delegated system here. If you have any tasks that are starred or any activities that are starred, let me show you that real quick. So we create a new activity. Let's make a task. And we're just saying call this person. We're going to relate it to this person, Craig Cachillo. And we're going to have that set for later. We're going to look in our list for later. And you'll see here these tasks are the ones without the calendar icons. And we have call this person. So let's star this one, saying that it's important. It puts a graphical star next to it, and that's how we know what things are important. And if you wanted to put some precedence to your tasks that are more important, you can simply come here and click this starred item, and that will show you all your important tasks and also break down when they're due. That way you can separate things that must be done or things that are important even though they have no particular date and time, and you can go through your list and do things that way. So it's a great way to keep track of what needs to be done that's important and assign priorities to your task regardless of what date they may or may not be due. You can also narrow down your different types of activities here between events and tasks by using these filter buttons. And then you can view all your stuff on a calendar. So for example, if I click on month, you can view your calendar and you'll see the events, and you could change these colors in your settings. My events show up as blue, and my tasks that need to get done show up as red. So a lot of different things you can do with tasks and activities. And then you'll also notice if we come to the contact view and we search for this person, we'll see Craig Cachillo here. And inside the information, we'll notice the 2 pending tasks. We created one task, and you'll see that's related to him there. And the second task we created was to call this person. If we had related an event to him, this would show up as an event as well. So you could come in here, example, and inside this task we can keep notes, and those notes will be stored in this person's contact as well. To complete this, you simply mark task as complete, and it's done. And this shows up under history now instead of pending because we've completed that task. We have one task left in pending. Now let's say you made this call to this person or your contact, and that required another follow-up. So you could type your notes right here in this specific task. Spoke with Craig. Need to send him a proposal for a new grant. You would add that comment. That would be attached to that task forever. Now, he's telling you on this phone call, we'd like you to submit a grant. So that's going to require another follow-up. So you could complete this task and create another one automatically right from this screen. It completes the old one, and you're creating a new one right here. You can assign or leave it later. You could relate this right to him, and then maybe relate it to a specific deal. So you could create a deal that would relate to this particular grant application, save that. You'll notice it puts the other one we completed into the history, and then puts this one into the new pending area. Next to this, you can also show more options by clicking it, and you could complete, star, edit, or delete it right from there. We'll delete that one, and that's that. So several different ways you can create tasks, and here's another one right here from the actual contact view. You can come over here and click Take Action. And you'll see different options here. Down here you have Add Task. So you can add a task directly from the Take Action button, and when you click that, the contact is automatically added. You don't have to select that person's name. It's automatically related to the contact that's selected. You can also schedule a meeting with this person. And then you would enter the information in there. If there were other guests that you needed to add, you could add their names here as well. So you can create tasks and events from the activity screen, from the contact screen. You can also create them from your messages. So if you're inside your inbox in your messages, this is your general inbox, and you're looking at an email. Here's an email from someone named Brian Adams, related with OrgSpring, of course. If you hover over this and you see on the right side, you have a couple of icons. Now you can reply to this directly, you can archive this message and it will archive it, or you click again on your More Actions button. And that will open up several things that you can do. And you'll notice we can star it to make it important, or you can create a task from this email. So let's say he sent me an email, and I wanted to follow up on that with something that I need to send him directly. It actually attaches the email inside the comment box of the task, and it automatically assigns the contact to whom that email came from. And then you would put your task information in there, or if you wanted to create this an event, you would just simply click over to the Event tab and create an event. So this is a great way for you to create events or tasks directly from your email address. And if you had a team member, you can actually come in here and create a task and then assign it to one of your team members directly from your own email, and it will attach that email to the task. So it's a great way to work with teams inside of Nimble as well. So there's a lot of different ways you can create tasks or events directly from within Nimble and through all your social media profiles. Thanks for taking a watch of this video, and we hope to see you again soon.